YouTube. So this is video number 4 of the 30-day challenge. In my last video, I gave you a tour of my room, showed you all the equipment I currently use, all the things I have to be able to stream or make YouTube videos. But this video is going to be a sort of follow-on from that, but it's going to be more a contradiction as to why you shouldn't have done or why you shouldn't be getting the equipment that I've got when you're first starting up. Now, in the last video, I went into detail about all the equipment I had, and yes, it took 5 years to get to this point. I'm still a small YouTuber. I've only just started streaming, and I have a lot of things in this room that, in hindsight, I could have maybe bought something cheaper or put the money in better places. So the first thing I'm going to talk about is the GoXLR that I've currently got. Although the piece of equipment is fantastic and what you can do with it is incredible, in terms of the money spent on it, which I believe at the time was about £350, that money could have easily been put into something cheaper that does similar job, and then the rest into something else that at the time I may have wanted or needed. I wouldn't try and put anyone off buying something like that, but if you have only just started, it is something that you do not need at all. Now, to go with the GoXLR is paired with the Blue Ember that I've got, an XLR microphone. Again, it's not something you need. For a start, you don't need an XLR microphone at all. There are cheaper options, and paired with the GoXLR, you're looking at almost £500 for the two. Now, this can be done a hell of a lot cheaper. Again, the money itself could have been spent a fraction at a price to get something that does something similar, especially now, and the rest of the money could have gone into something better. So the next thing is the camera. Now, I wouldn't put anyone off buying a camera when they're starting to stream or make YouTube videos. In fact, I would encourage having your face on screen when you do these things. Personally, I think that having a camera and having your face on screen will help you grow in the long run. You'll struggle massively if it's just a case of you showing what it is you're streaming or gaming or doing anything like that, purely because your audience feels a lot closer to you if they can see who you are and what you're doing. In my opinion, when it comes to streaming, there are 3 main components to be able to do this. The first one, you either need to be extremely good at what it is you're doing. You either need to be educational and informative and be showing the audience something they can learn, or you need to be entertaining as a person. Now, you can do this with your voice, but having your face on screen will make that a lot easier and will connect with your audience a lot better. And I feel with those 3, you need at least 2 of them to grow your channel successfully. So in terms of a camera, obviously buy a camera, get your face on screen, but you don't need to be buying something expensive to be able to have a successful camera screen. Now, the next thing to go with the camera is lighting. Obviously, if you buy a camera, you want to be able to light your face up. You want to be able to show yourself and the background you've got. You don't need expensive lighting. Lights will work the same in terms of they shine the same light, and as long as it's on your face or in a position that it works, then you don't need to be buying expensive lighting. I understand these days there are companies that are selling lighting a hell of a lot more expensive than if you can buy them on Amazon. So I'd say get creative, find something cheaper. You can always get something cheaper than these bigger brands are trying to sell. Now, if you are looking to go down the green screen route, I understand there are, again, companies that are selling green screens for quite a lot of money in comparison to what you can buy. Green screen is essentially just a piece of green fabric. Now, you can do that with a piece of green cloth or an old blind you've got. You don't need to be buying expensive branded green screens. They all do the same and they're all the same color at the end of the day. Now, if you are looking to just get started, so you haven't got anything at all and you're looking to buy a PC or build a PC, don't buy or don't build the most expensive or the best PC that is available at this time. In terms of things like graphics cards, you don't need the best graphics card to be able to stream or play games or do anything like that. You can buy a mid-level graphics card which will do exactly the same job. Now, yes, the higher end graphics cards will give better performance, but at the same time, as long as you're able to do something and you're able to start streaming or start making YouTube videos, then spend the money somewhere better placed. I mean, a PC itself, I'm running a 1660 from 3 years ago and I'm still able to stream any game I want currently. I'm able to make videos, I'm able to do whatever I want with it. Obviously, buy a PC that's in your budget. I would say if you've got a set budget for everything, then the majority of the money should go towards the PC. Because the better that is, the easier everything else becomes. But at the same time, don't throw all your money into a PC and then be stuck not able to buy everything else. Now with the PC, with the monitors, again, don't go for the most expensive. Personally, I would say with monitors especially, try and find something secondhand. At the end of the day, as long as it works and as long as it does what it's supposed to, then it will work for you in your stream. Personally, I have 3 monitors. None of them are particularly great. All 3 of them only run at 1080p. The first monitor I have, which I bought when I first started setting up this room 5 years ago, was the most expensive one I bought, and it was £180 at the time. Now, the other 2 monitors I bought were secondhand. They do exactly the same, if not better, than the original monitor I had. But again, this is something that can be upgraded in the future, so it's not something you need to set a load of money into at the beginning. The next one is the keyboard and mouse. Now, you can buy cheap keyboard and mouse, you can buy expensive keyboard and mouse. In my opinion, they do pretty much the same thing regardless of how much money you spend. The more money you spend, obviously, the fancier it gets with the RGB or the tactile keys or anything like that. But when you're first starting out, don't put a load of money into your keyboard and mouse. As long as it works and as long as it does the job, you don't need to spend a lot of money for those things. Now, the last thing which a lot of people get hung up on is the chair you sit on. Now, you can buy a cheap office chair, sit on it for hours, and it'll be comfortable all day. Or you can put a load of money into a gaming chair, which the word gaming, all that does is put the price up. In terms of the chair itself, 90% of the time, the cheaper versions of those are not comfortable. I've learnt this firsthand. I bought a gaming chair from Amazon, and I no longer use it and would rather sit on a second-hand office chair than use the expensive gaming chair I bought. Now, as a contradiction, that is the next thing I am looking to buy. I am looking to spend a fair bit of money on a chair, just purely because the chair I'm sat on isn't great. When you first start out, don't spend a stupid amount of money on a chair, especially a gaming chair. If you're going to spend a bit of money, buy something that is going to be comfortable, something that's going to be supportive of your back. Don't type in gaming chairs on Google, because you'll come up with things that look great, but at the end of the day, you feel like you're sat on a plank of wood. I understand a lot of this is a contradiction as to what I've bought, and this is the reason I'm putting this out there. I only recently started streaming maybe a year ago. Stream on and off, so it's not exactly successful as it is. And in terms of videos, YouTube videos, this 30-day challenge is the first thing I put in place to try and grow this channel. I have spent a lot of money on this room, and personally I know for a fact I could have done everything I'm currently doing on half the budget I have spent. If you are a new streamer or you are new to content creation, think of your budget as a whole. Try and allocate certain parts of that budget to certain things. Obviously spend more on the PC or the chair, things like that, things that actually help you, and then look to upgrade things later on down the line. Now, I understand a lot of the things I'm telling you not to get straight away I do have, but like I say, it has taken me 5 years to get to this point, and although I haven't utilized the equipment I've got, it has taken time to get to this point, and I feel now I'm at a position where I don't need to particularly upgrade anything massive in the future. The idea of my next video will be based on what to buy instead. So this video shows everything that you shouldn't buy or everything that you don't necessarily need when you first start out. The next video will be a sort of what you could have as a whole based on different budgets. The overall setup should work out roughly the same, but the level of equipment will be different. So depending on your budget will depend on what sort of bracket you want to fit into and what sort of things you want to buy. So yeah, tune into the next video. We'll be going through all of that as well. I know this was a bit of a vague video, but it was just a quick one to show or to tell you what not to buy. So if you're liking the videos, please do like and subscribe. If you've got anything to say, any questions, comments, please leave them below. We'll be back tomorrow with the next episode in this series. As I said, it will be a follow-on from this video. See you tomorrow.